Cheers. Give it a second. See if anybody tunes in. Hope somebody tunes in. I'm using a new mic, so see how that works. All right, guys, 7 o'clock, and that means it's time to start. So, without further ado, welcome Wednesday night at 7 to Track Talk on YouTube, powered by W Energy Drink. Guys, if you haven't taken me up on it already, check out W Energy Drink and use my code LoneWolf47 for a 10% discount at checkout. Mike, I'm glad you're here. I'm going to try something real quick while we're on, and everybody else is. Can you hear me, Mike? Waiting in the comments. This thing's on, right? Nope, that's not on. All right. Well, anyway, guys, I wanted to talk tonight about something a little lighter, and get into some of the things that we are planning for Wolfpack Racing in 2026, and that is some of the rallycross stuff. A little bassy. That's feeling it tonight, Mike. Anyway, this one I gotta take off because that wasn't working for now, and we'll figure that out after. But rallycross, guys, we're gonna do some rallycross racing in the spring and summer of 2026 as we get back outdoors. I know it's a long ways away, but we're starting to plan things and do things now for then. So what you'll see tonight here on YouTube, a video we'll post about some tips and tricks for setting up one of our specific classes that I'll talk about in a minute. And on the Facebook page, Wolfpack Racers Den, there'll be the rules for that class as well. So without further ado, I present to you the first class that we're announcing for that rallycross, and that is the Tamiya TT02 class. This is my Toyota Celica GT4 ST185. There are no lights. That's pretty stock. I have the rally block tires on it from Tamiya, and that'll all be in the rules that are posted on Facebook in about an hour. Now, initially, some of you might be thinking, oh my God, they're going to use those cheap little cars. What kind of thing is going on here? Listen, as far as that goes, when it comes to the oval stuff, we do oval things, and we have a lot of fun with Mud Boss and the classes that you typically run there. What we're trying to do with the rallycross thing is get away from the typical. When you see a Tamiya car and you think rally, some of you that are a little more knowledgeable into the hobby perhaps, think about grown-ass men running around a track following their cars as they drive. And if you know me, personally, I'm too old, I'm too broken, and I'm too out of shape to be running and chasing a car around a track that it's driving on. So the idea of rallycross is to kind of keep it similar to an off-road style of racing, where the drivers are standing still and the cars are doing all the moving. Now, some of the things that are still up in the air about the rallycross thing will be, in fact, how we race, or what multiple forms of racing we take with these cars and these different classes that we'll be announcing throughout the winter for the spring, and how we race them. One Obviously could be, 5, 6 cars at a time on the track and just regular old racing format for a second, third. There could be bracket racing, there could be side by sides, time, not necessarily time trials, but something along those lines, involving multiple cars, Joker lanes perhaps. So again, if this is something that you're interested in, or you're in the area and you have run with us before and think, oh, that sounds like it could be fun. Some of those keywords, maybe something you want to look up. Joker Lane, the way that operates in the real kind of rally racing will be very similar in fashion to how we are running it on our tracks. Now, I do want to say this out loud because I think it bears saying out loud. Look, the past several weeks I've been posting, different videos, lives, and whatnot, blogs, other things, and criticizing racing in certain venues, racing, the way they approach certain classes, whatever. This is going to be made for fun. This isn't going to be something that you're going to run track to track with. Who knows? It's something that we're just trying to keep something ultra fun and enjoyable for everybody on a cheaper level, which is why the TTO2 in the first place. Places have, at least in my experience, some that I follow, whether locally or otherwise, they take too much into consideration, the format of the 1-1 racing itself, that the full size, for those that are new to racing, radio control cars. The format and the style and the this and the that. It's like, when I race my RC cars, and I think I said this in one of the videos recently, I'm not paying money to go and race, a couple minutes here and there, because that's what the real cars do. As a hobbyist on this fun side of things, you want to go out and just have at it and have some fun, and that's what these rallycross races are going to be, that we're going to put on. So while they may incorporate some of the real life things, like maybe a Joker lane, or different factors like that, there will be certain requirements and whatever of the racing format, of the style of car, the build, and so forth, just so that we can have a level playing field for all that are interested in those different classes and or formats. Not because it has to be X, Y, or Z or else. I mean, who cares? It's just racing toy cars. And I'm looking forward to talking about several of the other classes as we get through the winter, like I said, but I wanted to touch base on the idea of rallycross racing as a whole. Now, with that, a lot, if not all, of that racing will be done on our dirt track. It will be set up to accommodate all the forms of racing we're going to be offering. So that's something that's already in the planning and in the works. With the rally stuff, however, that gives us an opportunity to branch out a little more to other things, like an on and off-road setup, an off-road only, an on-road only. So again, to incorporate some of those things into racing, just, on the lower end price wise of our hobby, can be an extremely enjoyable thing. For anybody that was around a few years ago when I started the Hit Squad, which is now turned into the Wolfpack, that's what we started with. We started with like a 60x40 area, 8-foot lanes, TTO2s, and a couple other chassis, and we did some on-road racing every week on Thursday night or whatever it was. I think it was Thursday. And, we'd have 30, 40 guys there a night. It can be a blast if you make it into one. It doesn't have to be ultra competitive. It can be competitive and still be an extremely fun night. And that's what we had going on then. I'm not trying to replicate that whatsoever because I'm not saying we're doing on-road racing. What I am trying to suggest is that by doing a similar, by using a similar vehicle for different styles of racing, we should be able to easily accomplish a similar result, that being competition with a whole lot of fun built in. And that's what the goal is with the Rallycross. Excuse me. There'll be different, differences from what you may have seen elsewhere. I know a lot of guys, at least locally, have participated in 1 or 2 or 3 places, different rally style events for these cars. Some of the classes that we're using, and some of them that I don't think they would have thought twice about using, but should prove to be fun. And again, I think that what we're going to try to provide is something a little different. And I'm not going to try to give away the farm here, give you too much, which is why I left it wide open as far as the styles of Rallycross that we could possibly tap into. But I'll say this, like I said, this is going to be one of those, it's as serious as someone wants to make it, but if anybody makes it too serious, they're putting way too much effort into $150 car, right? Some of the other classes are, as you guys will see when we announce them, very similar price-wise. Price point is going to be a big factor for this product as we start to present it more and more. There are some other cars, there are some other trucks, there are some different builds within that'll all be used throughout the year next year, season-wise, for this type of racing that we're going to do. I'm on the thing, but go ahead.
Could I have some Pepsi?
No, shut the door, please.
I'm thirsty.
Liv, Keith can get you some juice.
Keith
Shut the door.
said
Half an hour once a week. That's all I ask. But anyway, whatever. And now the cat's gonna start. So, so keep an eye out on the Facebook page, here on the YouTube channel, because I'll be putting out some other build tips and tricks videos for the classes that we are specifically going to run. So if you come into the YouTube page and you see tonight at 8 o'clock, TTO2, Tamiya TTO2 rally conversion tips and tricks. They may not work for your area's product of some sort of rally racing. I know, the guys in California, I believe it's the Tamiya Rally Runners or something is the club name, would probably look at what we're doing and go, no, that's cheating. So again, these videos are going to be very specific to what we're doing with our club. And from there, if you're doing something with others, please be aware that you're going to have to do your due diligence and make sure that the car will fit their build requirements. Let's see, what else is there? There's a few races coming up that me and a couple of the guys are talking about going to. And within that, I wanted to kind of transition from the Rally X into this, because while they will be back on the oval, some are carpet, some are clay, some are dirt, and all are indoors. And so that's going to be some different ways of looking at things, doing things, and driving that, those of us looking into some of them may not be used to, may have never tried, may, have a little experience with, but who knows. And so that's going to be fun too. And guys, again, the reason I transitioned to that in and from the rallycross thing is to say, like, you can pigeonhole yourself into one style of racing if that's what you want to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the further out you branch, and this goes back to, I think, an episode or two ago when I was talking about goals, the further out you branch, the more you learn about how to accomplish those goals. You know, racing on carpet, I was talking to a gentleman today who said, you know, if you can drive on carpet, you can drive on anything. I'm always saying if you can drive on dirt, you can drive on anything, right? It's all in what you look at and how you look at that surface. Now, to his point, you know, you have a high bike traction, you can't turn too harshly because if you're not set up right, you're gonna traction roll and this and that. To my point, if you're sliding around dirt corners and somehow a surface gives you more traction than that, then it'll be an easier time of getting around the corner, steering instead of counter steering. So everybody's going to have their opinion of how these different things work. And I don't think either of us today was wrong as far as our opinions of those surfaces. I think, personally, that there may or may not be differences in the way we approach those surfaces, the gentleman that I was talking to and I. And so, in experiencing those different types of racing, whether it's oval or the rallycross or off-road or whatever you're doing, you're building skill, and that's the key. So, you know, not that I'd say to somebody, okay, buy a car for each, you know, style of racing and then go for broke and hope for the best. I don't think that's a great approach either. I think that, you know, a guy like Mike, for instance, who's watching now, has spent a year plus or a little more than a year now, almost 2 years, on the oval, and it is time that he can branch out personally to other formats of racing, whether that's the rallycross or off-road or something to that effect, because he's got a understanding of how the cars operate that he's driven. So now it is time to experience different chassis and different ways of doing things to build on his skill set from just that base to now being able to branch out. So I don't necessarily, like I said, think that somebody should go out and buy an oval car, a rally car, an off-road car, a carpet car, a dirt car, a clay car, this, that, the other car. But I do think that if you started somewhere, there's nothing wrong after building some proficiency with that in trying something completely different. I think there's a lot to be said for that within just, like I said, the way you'll learn how those different things make the car operate and the overall value of that knowledge to make your cars operate better on whatever surface that you're going to that day. So again, expand the way you're looking at things, your goals and so forth. Mike, I'm going to talk about you out of class, but then again, that's nothing new. You know, when Mike and I were talking about the rallycross thing, you know, he was like a little unsure of it. Hey, I've driven on the oval. I don't know. And look, I hate to say this, but it's kind of like raising kids. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to let them take their lumps. And so with that, Mike's going to jump into a new form and style of racing that he's not familiar with a car that's very different from what he's used to driving as far as wheelbase and steering and twitchiness and so forth, and learn that. And all the while build the skills with both, right? There's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. It's the goals that you set within that idea. And as long as they're realistic, you know, and you're learning the different formats and facets of those styles of racing, you can continue to make progress. So again, you know, Mike is someone who I work very differently with than I work with, say, Sandman, who are both very different than if I worked with, my son Keith or, whomever. My point there, guys, is that people are going to learn differently about the different styles of racing, how to drive, how to tune, and whatever. Don't let that stop you. To my point last week or 2 weeks ago now about novice class, don't let that stop you from enjoying the hobby. Because that's the point. Enjoy it. You have some downtime, you're not at work, you're not tasked out at home. You can go out and you can race and have fun, kick up some dirt, have some laughs with your friends. And that's what hobbies are all about, is enjoying yourself. So, as I stated before, the TTO2 tips and tricks video will be posted here on YouTube in about 40-45 minutes. And then at the same time, the rules for our specific class, as far as the TTO2 for the Rallycross, will be posted on the Facebook page as well. We've had a lot of people coming in and out the last several weeks of the live feed and then watching after the fact and so forth. Guys, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. There's a lot more to come. And, maybe the microphone test didn't work tonight, but, I'm trying to give you a better product here when we do these lives. There will be, in the coming weeks, more planning as to actually what I'm going to talk about, which should be really strange because I don't plan these things. I just kind of come out and start rattling off at the mouth, and whatever happens, happens. But, trying to improve the content for you guys in that fashion as well. So, little things here and there. There'll be some how-to videos or more how-to videos coming soon. Have some equipment that I just purchased that can help with that. And, again, little bits at a time here and there. And, hopefully you guys see the fruits of that and benefit from it in some way, shape, or fashion when it comes to your race program. So, that's all I had for tonight, guys. I just kind of wanted to give a quick overview of the Rallycross that we're planning for 2026. I'm going to take a large sip of that drink I've been nursing because I'm parched at the moment. So this is the time, guys, that I'm going to open it up to the chat feature. You guys can comment, question, voice concerns, or whatever the case may be. And we could keep this going for a while, or we could end it now. It is entirely up to what happens while I'm downing some of my Pepsi. There it is. All right. Mike's got nothing, and neither do the several other people that are on with us right now. So, for now, I'm going to end it there. And like I said, guys, if you haven't already, like and subscribe on the channel, please. The more we see people paying attention, the more we'll want to do things. And, yeah, speechless. And then, as always, not only those local to us, but anybody else that's not going to spam the page and create some nonsense, more than welcome on the Wolfpack Racers Den page on Facebook. It's under groups, and you can find us there as well. Lastly, thank you, Mike, for the reminder. Just want to throw it out there, guys, that the Lone Wolf team applications are still being accepted. That's going to go through November. So there's plenty of time to do that. But if, in fact, I fill up before that deadline, then the deadline will be obviously changed, and that will come to an end sooner than later. So while I'm perusing through some of these applications now, oh my gosh, excuse me, get those applications in. Guys, you don't have to be local to us for that. You can go to the Lone Wolf Racing page, also on Facebook. The group is the same, Lone Wolf Racing. If you're on the Wolfpack Racers Den, you can find the link for those applications on all 3 avenues there. We've already got some spammy bullshit ones, and yeah, I mean, wonderful. I'm hope somebody made their own day by doing that. But it's pretty easy to sort the waste of time ones out of the other ones, and you know, I've been working on that as well. Now, as far as the benefits go to being a team Lone Wolf driver, really quickly, guys, I'm not looking for pros for Lone Wolf. What I do with Lone Wolf is to try to, you know, help the newer guys up and along, as we've discussed with Mike and others. Try to offer products that are relevant to what they're doing, that I can make. I don't like to buy a lot of shit. I like to go through and create things, whether that's, you know, some of the different trophies that we've done in the past, and or tuning motors. You know, well, that's because it hasn't been announced yet, Mike, but see, there you go, first for you too. There are some other things I'm working on in the background for the team members that may very well be able to include discounts or something. I'm not making any promises. What I am promising you is this: simply as a team member, you will be a part of a supportive network of people that are there to help you, or you can be there to help others. And there's something to be said for anybody that wants to be a part of a system like that without personal gain or benefit necessarily. As I said, I am trying to work on those personal gains and benefits, but that's not to say that any of that will come to fruition. However, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But for now, check out those pages, check out that link, fill out your applications, you know, and once that application process is done, the team is chosen, we will all that are chosen sit down and discuss a few more things and requirements of the team, and, you know, what you know, expectations of me as the guy running the thing or whatever. And we can, at very least, I can put you to bed with this one tonight as far as benefits. Anything that I offer as Lone Wolf Racing can be finagled to benefit any of the drivers. So I'll let you do the math on that one. 2 and 2 is always 4. So you know, we'll work those things out as we get closer to the finalization of the team selection, and then we'll go from there. That being said, guys, that's it for tonight, and I'll see you next week. For now, I'm the Hitman, and I'm out.